Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the Redseapodcast. Quite an early one today, and a solo one today. This is the episode that was gonna happen yesterday, but I decided to put as much work as I can on the vlog that is gonna come up. Best case today afternoon, worst case tomorrow morning, uh, to make it as perfect as I possibly could to match the utter perfection of yesterday. Oh, 2 nights ago, not yesterday night. I'm sorry. Yes, yes. The heavens gates, uh, heavens lights are to my right. That's because it is 3 p.m. right now. I usually stream around 10 p.m., maybe 11, even at midnight sometimes, but it is 3 p.m. right now. Yes, exactly this. This is exactly what I wanted to get into. We finally saw the the first Euroleague win of the season, moving very swiftly past the loss against Fenerbahce away by a game that was even closer than it should have been, I'd say. And that's not only because of the tragic level of the EuroLeague referees, that is also because of some stuff that will be fixed as time goes on. Speaking about the game, I do want to mainly start with the much anticipated return of Mustafa Fall and all that will give to the team. As soon as Fall came in, I think we shot four threes and made two of them. I think while Fall was on the court, we were 50% from threes, which of course didn't reflect the rest of the game, as 3 point shooting was once again one of our main problems. I don't think many people have in their minds how much of an impact Fall has, not only defensively, but in the complete motion of the offense, honestly. Whether that's P&R, whether that's catching passes from Evan, from Luca, from anyone, and converting them very easily uh, into dunks or layups from something I always call bully ball. Uh, there isn't really many centers that can match Mustafa. Exactly. He's an absolute brick wall. He's a brick wall. He's a man mountain. I think he will be one of our most important players, and to to more or less make the comparison with football, it's like the game Reggio came back in football. Like we were a whole different team, especially defensively. Like the the inside is a completely forbidden area when Moose is playing, and that will prove so useful, as it always has when Moose has been here. This man, Sasha Vezenkov. Sasha Vezenkov, who on a completely quiet night, once again, just goes and drops the humblest double double ever. with 17, 11, and 1 in 24 minutes. Sasa has started the season being absolutely everywhere. He is more or less getting the superstar treatment coming back, being marked every time by at minimum two defenders. Uh, but he always seems to be in the right places, always seems to find that perfect pass, or always seems to just find the space needed for him to just pull up and just dead shot the ball from two, three layups, drives, absolutely everything. I was immediately gonna move into this. Trincheri, who did start yesterday, I think it was yesterday morning, the clip that came out and said, where he was praising everything about Coach B, uh, where he was praising everything about Olympiacos basketball. And after yesterday's brutal loss, again, reminder, the first quarter ended 21 to 6. 21 to 6, and all quarters could have been like that. He does go out and say the post-game press that Sasa starts the game with 10 free throws. He just looks at the refs and he gets two free throws, where Sasa has started the season getting beat up worse than Mike Tyson. I honestly don't know what happened. I don't know if it was post-game nerves from what he saw. I don't know if it was just stupidity. I don't know if it was um, just him being salty of how Sasha destroyed his team. But it's such a useless, stupid statement. It made no sense. Exactly. We give Trincheri a skepastay and send him home packing. Yes, Zalgiris should register a wrestling team. The fouls here. I think they had three people out with five. I think they had three people out with five, but I am not uh, necessarily gonna promise that because I do not remember. Let me actually try and find if that's true. Yes, Butkiewicz, Solanovas, and Dunston all had five to end the game. Uh, Dunston not really doing anything. Neither of them did anything. There wasn't really any against them, except, of course, Sirvidis, who is the future of Lithuanian basketball. He's so talented. He's honestly, because of course we need to give credit where credit is due. He's a great player. He's a great player that will probably be the face of Zalgiris for the next who knows many years, because I don't think he'll get snapped up by anyone. But except from Silvidis, no one really did anything from that Zalgiris team. Uh, Sylvain Francisco, who had completely ruined Barcelona on match day one, showed the basketball IQ of Giannulis Larazakis suddenly, and everyone else was just completely just mediocre player. Uh, one complaint I have from both teams, that is that 3 point wise we were so so bad. We had a complete of 12 out of how much? 12 out of 52 three-pointers in the entire game. We had 4 out of 17, and Zalgiris had 8 out of 35. That percentage is criminal for two EuroLeague teams. And I am putting us in this as well. I've had, I love this team. I love this team. But my main two quote unquote criticisms is the 3-point shooting and the unbelievably, unbelievably missed, unbelievable amount of missed defensive rebounds. It's it is gonna cost us at some point, like those attacks with Zalgiris getting one, two, three, and then on the fourth rebound just getting picking up fouls from our players. That is gonna cost us at some point. That did really cost us against Renner. It's still the beginning, and it's still very early, and there is more than enough time for anything that's wrong to be fixed. And I trust this team blindly. I honestly trust this team blindly. But the rebounds, especially, need to be fixed because the game could have been done way earlier than it was, and the difference could have been crazy. The difference could have been brutal for a EuroLeague game if it continued like the first quarter. But we did kind of, in general, lose it a bit in the second, but we did come back to eventually finish off the game. Free throws, yeah, free throws in general, again, weren't great. Even though it wasn't nearly as bad, like we had 65% from free throws for us, isn't that bad. Uh, 64 for Zalgiris isn't that bad either. The the shocking quote unquote free throw misses were mostly from Evan, but no one's gonna make every single free throw. Uh, so yeah, I'm not really gonna focus on that department because we always end up fixing that department. For me, the main, again, quote unquote emergency, because it's still very early, is the rebound department. But I'm sure that Coach V would make sure that everything is fixed. What else did I really want to focus on? Yes. This is one of the games for me that just proves to everyone that we shouldn't just focus on specific players and just tear them down piece by piece. And of course, I am gonna go to Nigel William Goss, who was our third top scorer, uh, a bit behind the two stars of the team at this point, because you can't ever deny that Vezenkov and Devan Fournier are our stars this year. And again, Evan just heating up slowly but surely. Evan is heating up, and his chemistry with most of the team is already in an amazing uh, place. I did point out yesterday on the live reactions on Twitter, of course, for those of you who want to see my live reactions to games, at least for now, do go follow me over on Twitter. And it is way easier to interact with me on Twitter as well, but I try to keep up with interacting absolutely everywhere. As I was saying, Evan is slowly but surely heating up, and the chemistry between the team in general is amazing for a start. Like our passing game was, yes, I did mention the double double from Sasa. I did say that he's 17, 11, and 1 in one of his arguably calmest nights. Is just something that we'll never get used to, but we'll see so much this season. Uh, Yesterday's game, that's why I'm more or less unable to explain what happened with the missed shots because our passing game was better than I've seen it for a long time now. We were incredible every chance we got to go on a break. We were finding the perfect spaces. Luca Vildosa, for example, almost almost played one of the best passes I've seen in a basketball game. That's not an exaggeration at all. If it was just a tad more right, that would have been one of the most satisfying passes I have ever seen. In general, the chemistry of the team is just building so fast, especially with the new boy Evan and Sasa coming back. And you don't just see duos. Uh, you don't just see duos like you saw last season. Like the entire team seems to be just finding each other so perfectly. Uh, this comment is the reason I did pause for a bit. Not to excuse anyone, but you've played basketball, talking to me, of course. It's hard to build the flow when the refs kept delaying the game. I did I did touch on the refereeing a tiny bit. I do not really want to get into a full rant like I did yesterday, but the the refereeing in yesterday's game for me was the worst I've ever seen. And I've been watching and playing basketball all my life. Uh, Even the Scanarefs are better in some cases. If you know, you know about the Scanarefs, but even the Scanarefs are better in some cases. They ούτε ελέφαντα στο ένα μέτρο. Αλήθεια, ούτε ελέφαντα στο ένα μέτρο. And it's not that I'm not calling rigged. Like, okay, we did win. Uh, I just solely think that they are either protecting uh, games that the point difference could be embarrassing for the league, or they're just plain stupid. Like, okay, there are the Tifalas of the world, which we all know what the refs like that do. But sometimes I even wonder if some of them know the rules of the fucking game. The play that immediately comes to my mind is where Philip does shoot within the allowed time. The ball hits the rim and does go to Vezenkov's hands, and they don't uh, renew the time, and they just stop the play. We're gonna forget what we know from basketball. Honestly, I think that most refs, again, the defilers of the world exist. But honestly, I think most refs are just stupid. Like the refereeing level in the Euroleague is just going lower and lower year by year. Like, of course, with the president the Euroleague has that's never going to get looked at. But surely something has to happen at some point. And I do try, especially in Euroleague games, because we all know what we will see 99.9% of the time. But yesterday it was just impossible. It was impossible not to talk about it. I didn't know if I should just curse, laugh, or fucking cry at what we were looking at. But fully props to the team and to Coach B for managing to fight that, even the most ridiculous of calls, keep up uh, a good enough flow and do get the game done. Because again, very early in the season, for me, what matters is the win. And this is insane. The game lasted 2 hours and 24 minutes. This is crazy to even say for a basketball game. And that's the length of a football final with extra time and fucking penalties. That's crazy to think about sometimes. Again, in my opinion, surely something needs to be done at some point at least. Uh, Another player that I do want to focus on, uh, my slightly got cold. I think there was two forms of people: those whose food got cold and those who almost fell asleep during the game. I'm with you, actually. So I don't even know. There is no words enough to describe how chaotic the refereeing level in the Euroleague is. But as I was saying, another player that I do want to focus on is a player that got more game time yesterday, like I was preaching for uh, in the first game. And that, of course, is the player that I've been calling uh, our most underrated transfer of the summer, and a player that I'm sure will just keep helping more and more, and a player that's more of a team player than most I've seen, and that of course is Luca Vildosa with 5-2 and 2 in 23 yesterday. But aside the point perfect passes that he got, aside the way he helps in team play, I do want to focus on his post game uh, interview and him just saying over and over again that some of our best guys are out and we are waiting for them, and we are waiting for 11s, and that we are so happy Fall is back. You see a player that is so intertwined, so focused on the team, and so focused on winning as a team, that you just can't help being extremely happy with him, extremely satisfied. Uh, and that player deserves to be in the team. I don't fully comprehend how how some fans uh, don't like Luca, some of our fans, but I truly can't comprehend how some of our fans say half the shit they do say, and how some of our fans think that they are better in the player coaching department than uh, our actual coaches in every sport. So yeah, I want to focus on something that I saw because I somehow saw whining again yesterday, and I've stated my full opinion on how unnecessarily white Negric fans are, and especially our fans in some cases. So I leave it at that. This Euroleague season is so unpredictable. Mate, I don't get how people just don't trust Bartzokas and what he does. A coach that's proven us so right in trusting him so many times, and yet people just keep on doubting him for some absolutely insane reason. Another thing I do want to focus on from yesterday is that our hashtag on Twitter had more Panathinaikos fans added than our fans. So if you all just want to admit that you like watching Barzokas ball, you can just tell us. Just let us watch our team without just busting our balls for once, please. And I'm not talking about the Panathinaikos fans that do actually enjoy watching other teams play and that did actually make some sort of sense in what they were saying or do have common logic. I'm talking about the Panathinaikos fans that, for example, were cursing out Papanikolaou once again. The same Papanikolaou that went into the post-game conference and immediately proved them wrong with talking about late George Baldock, showing full respect to him, showing full respect to the Greek football national team for the respect they paid and what they managed to do in Wembley. So again, the Panathinaikos fans are proven, the Panathinaikos quote-unquote fans, because those aren't fans, of course, are proven extremely wrong and embarrassed by Papanikolaou for the billionth time. Vildosa had the best net rating in round two. I am not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised. Luka had an amazing game. He was one of the best players out there yesterday, at least for me. But yeah, just let us watch our team, just like we let you watch yours. The next game, yes, we do play Aris at home after. That is tomorrow at 5:15. And we do play Armani Milano at home again on Tuesday. So it is a double week following up for the Euroleague. And I do actually want to go check who we play on Thursday. Should be on Thursday. I'm not worried. That may sound a bit cocky, but I'm not worried about Armani. Uh, Armani, of course, do sit in ninth place with the same record as us, if I'm not that mistaken. Um, Having beaten Paris BC and having lost to AS Monaco, yes, they have the same record. No, they don't sit ninth. Armani Milano sit 14th, having the same record as us, two places down from us. And that is what I just saw. Friday, we are away at Anadolu Efes. Anadolu Efes, of course, an Efes team that's not the usual Efes team. An Efes team that does stand on a 1-1 record as well. Uh, an Efes team that just got embarrassed by Fenerbahce in their own home in the derby. Um, an Efes team that does on paper have stars. Like it's an FS team that has Poirier, it's an FS team that has the great player that is Stanley Johnson. Uh, it's an FS that, of course, has St. Larkin. It is an FS that does look like a close game on paper, but again, I am more than confident that we will manage the 2 out of 2 this week. Again, also an FS team I did forget about him. An FS team that has Jordan and Wara as well. If we avoid uh, having the minutes that we had in the second quarter of yesterday's game, I do think that we'll be confident in a week that's relatively tiring. I think that's about it from yesterday. I mostly wanted to focus on the positives and not just rant and rant and rant and rant. Of course, the next show is probably gonna be on Monday to focus on the Greece versus Ireland football game that is heading towards being sold out, actually. And I think that's the least we could have done for an sneaky team that just made us so proud just a few days ago. A game that, of course, must win to put the pressure even more on England. And yeah, we'll see. We will honestly see. Again, the show will remain black and white in posts and thumbnails until next Sunday, uh, when the national break officially ends, to pay as much respect as possible to the late George Baldock. Uh, and then the show will fully return to normal, and the announcements that I've postponed on purpose will just start flowing in. Thank you everyone for tuning early and unusual show. And thank you all for the incredible support you show me to everything I do. Because the support has been insane. Do like and subscribe if you like what you see. Do follow everywhere: Spotify, here, Instagram, Twitter, and now Reddit, uh, in which the interaction has been insane as well. And some people watching this may be from there, so do go follow me everywhere else. And honestly, can't thank you enough. I keep saying it, but this year is gonna be very big. Can't wait to be on this wild ride with you all behind me. Love you all. Bye bye.